this is Charlie from Charlie's Awesome World of Adventures, and today I'm going to give you my review on F1 the movie. In the 1990s, Sir Annie Hayes was Formula One's most promising driver until an accident on the track nearly ended his career. 30 years later, the owner of a struggling Formula One team convinced Sonny to return to racing and become the best in the world, driving alongside the team's hotshot rookie. Sonny soon learns that the road to redemption is not something you can travel alone. So my knowledge about F1 is very minimal, to put it best. I've definitely heard of it, and I've seen a few clips from of a few races on TV now and again. But I've never been like a huge fan of it. So I didn't really have much interest when I heard they were going to do an F1 movie. But then the worst thing that started to get me quite interested about it. So one is because of this racing film. I don't know if it's just me, but I seem to really enjoy those types of movies. These and some of them are some of my personal favourite films. Like, I think the Cars films are really good. I'm a Pixar's best. And I actually think Gran Turismo, that was released a couple of years ago, is an underrated masterpiece. Seriously, that film is incredible and deserves a lot more love. And secondly, the early reviews for this film seemed really positive. Like, many were calling this one of the best films of the year so far. So I was like, okay, I guess I can give it a watch. And if it's good enough, I might as well do a review about it. Well, I'm doing a review about it now, so I think if was something that, yeah, I really like this film. This is a really good movie. I probably need to see it again and to say if I outright love it. But I can tell this is a film I enjoyed on my first viewing, and I know I'm going to love a lot more on a rewatch. So let's begin with the characters, who are honestly really interesting. In fact, they're probably one of my favourite parts about the feature. Maybe some lacked a bit of development, and there were a few I feel like we could have needed a bit more screen time with. But that didn't change that I really like these guys. A good reason why is thanks to the actors. Each of them offered a fantastic performance that brought these characters to life. Such is the case with Brad Pitt as Sonny, and Dan Idris as Joshua. Well, both of them did it fantastic as the old veteran returned into the racing world, and the new overconfident rookie. I also really like Jabbar Arden as Ruben. Man, he gave a really good performance, and one of my favourites from the character. But going into the characters themselves, let's begin by talking about the main F1 driver, Sonny Hayes. As this film is distributed by Apple TV, Sonny kind of reminds me of the main character of one of Apple's original series, Ted Lasso. So, sounds crazy, I know. No, but allow me to explain. Characters that have mainly retired either from their sports, but then imagine Jacob and force them to come to the UK, to help them with their sport, or where they can be a bit grumbly now and again. Okay. And however, even if Sonny's character is similar to another character, and a property released by Apple TV. That doesn't stop Sonny from being a great character. In a way, he's trying to escape the trauma of his accident from 30 years ago. Oh, how much this has affected his career. It makes him hesitant to return to the F1 world. Oh, however, when he returns, and he honestly offers a good attitude to the race, and the way he goes around and the way aces and thing in of way ace for them for the team to win, or at least do well in the race. Ace can, and be quite interested to find out. Alongside him, as the hotshot rookie, Joshua Pierce. Is honestly one thing I really like about this film. It's the relationship between Sonny and Joshua. Well, even though they are working on the same team, it is noticeable that the two who have started a bit of a rivalry and do take a while to get to know each other, and become friends. However, as the film comes on and they start to learn a bit more about who each other is, they start to show a bit of respect for one another. And the relationship, it becomes really, really strong. That's why I think Joshua works well as a strong on character and a football design. I know. Because as he brings out the best, not just Joshua, but Sonny as well. And there's Ruben, the head of the main F1 team Sonny is working for, or who knows his team is down on its luck and have never had a win or victory in their lives. Thanks to Javar Brandon's great performance, and they really do a good job of showing Ruben as one of Sonny's old friends that wants to give him a second chance. Aren't in the racing world, and mainly we wants his team to do a good job and get one victory, so he doesn't have to sell his team. As for the other characters, their roles are quite minor. No, like Kate is the main technician of the team. That is Joshua's mum. And the film does us try to create a bit of an antagonist near the end, but they barely stick landing with him, and he easily became the weakest character. What can also be quite fun for F1 fans is to try and spot the references to the sport, and possibly some of the races that get involved with the film. Of course, or since I have little F1 knowledge, I was really looking out for that. But I can imagine that this will be a fun Easter egg hunt for F1 fans. Next, there's the story. Honestly, this is one of those stories that gets better as soon as much as it goes on. As it starts out, the story is quite generic about I personally used to be a sports star that is given a chance to return into the sport or to help a new team. It's honestly not an original premise for a sports film. And it's something that's been seen in sports movies over and over and over and over and over and over again. And there's barely anything into it that's quite original. However, but the execution more than makes up for it. While the film does start slow in its first half, when the races actually start, that's when the film gets really engaging. It helps the movie. It helps the audience to get more invested with the characters and their arcs and goals all throughout the film. And makes sure that the audience is invested with them throughout. On top of that, the races themselves are easily the highlights of the feature. I'll go into this a little later, but I was surprised to find how intense and the races could be, and how they can leave the viewer on the edge of their seat. Excited to find out what will happen in the race next. Also, so I really like how it added a bit of law to the racing well. And adds stuff that people not familiar with that well can learn from watching this film. I was impressed to find out all the different racing techniques and some rules that go into F1. Unlike the different types that I needed for each track, I can each condition, or how the races work in team in each of the races. It honestly becomes quite interesting, and I did enjoy getting a bit of effort on trivia. And then there are the visuals, and honestly, this is a really good looking movie. I really love the scale of everything here. This is especially the case with how high tech the cars themselves are. Each one of them looks like big real racing car that can go very fast and are shown to be powerful on the track. The scale of them is quite huge, and I also really like the main basis for the Formula 1, and showing the different high-tech skills that go into it. That can be quite interesting, I think, and how the basis is use different bits of technology. Also, so this one really got me into racing outfits. I don't know why, but the outfits the race car drivers have to wear have never been in something I've been interested in until this film. And while I think the outfits and costumes look really nice, I some fit well with the environment. But if there's one reason why people want to watch this movie, it would be for the racing scenes. I've already talked about how the highlights of the feature and the visuals are great. Eight reasons why. They are honestly, not just the story highlights, but the visual highlights, as they make advantage of the fast pace. That could get the view it was invested. This, as well as the skills else that can be found out with the drivers in the cars. Also, so when crashes and accidents do happen during the races, they make sure they're treated with seriousness, as and are shown to be big and powerful moments that can lead to some strong emotion. So overall, I know very little little about this sport, but this film got me invested. F1 the movie, is a highly engaging and high octane movie that had me invested from beginning to end. Despite a slow start and a weak story, the execution more than made up for it. It was some fantastic racing scenes, great looking visuals, really likable and engaging characters, and some really talented acting, as well as some lovely Easter references for F1 fans as to look out for. Honestly, if you're a fan of Formula 1, you're absolutely going to have a great time with this film. But if you're also fans of racing movies, then you're most likely have as much fun with this as I did. I can't say if this film made me a fan of Formula 1, but I definitely know that I was a fan of this film. Oh, and that's why I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. And I have a really good feeling that the more I watch this film, the higher the score will go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!